السلام عليكم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Today I will recite Surah Al-Kahf with English translation. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. All praise is for Allah, who has revealed the book to his servant, allowing no crookedness in it. قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا, making it perfectly upright, to warn the disbelievers of a severe torment from him, to give good news to the believers who do good, that they will have a fine reward. ماكثين فيه أبدا, in which they will remain forever. وَيُنْذِرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا, and to warn those who claim Allah has offspring. مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ وَلَا لِآبَائِهِمْ كَبُرَتْ كَلِمَةً تَخْرُجُ مِنْ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ إِنْ يَقُولُونَ إِلَّا كَذِبًا. They have no knowledge of this, nor did their forefathers. What a terrible claim that comes out of their mouths. They say nothing but lies. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى آثَارِهِمْ إِنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. Now, perhaps you, O Prophet, will grieve yourself to death over their denial, if they continue to disbelieve. If they continue to disbelieve in this message. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. We have indeed made whatever is on earth as an adornment for it, in order to test which of them is best in deeds. وَإِنَّا لَجَاعِلُونَ مَا عَلَيْهَا صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. And we will certainly reduce whatever is on it to barren ground. أَمْ حَسِبْتَ أَنَّ أَصْحَابَ الْكَهْفِ وَالرَّقِيمِ كَانُوا مِنْ آيَاتِنَا عَجَبًا. Have you, O Prophet, thought that the people of the cave and the black were the only wonders of our sign? إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. Remember when those youths took refuge in the cave and said, Our Lord, grant us mercy from yourself and guide us rightly through our ordeal. فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا. So we caused them to fall into a deep sleep in the cave for many years. ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا. Then we raised them so we may show which of the two groups would make a better estimation of the length of their stay. نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى. We relate to you, O Prophet, their story in truth. They were youths who truly believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance. وربطنا على قلوبهم إذ قاموا فقالوا ربنا رب السماوات والأرض لن ندعو من دونه إلها والأرض لن ندعو من دونه إلها لقد قلنا إذا شططا. And we strengthened their hearts when they stood up and declared, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. We will never call upon any god besides him, or we would truly be uttering an outrageous lie. هؤلاء قوم اتخذوا من دونه آلهة لولا يأتون عليهم بسلطان بين فمن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا. Then they said to one another, These people of ours have taken gods besides him. Why do they not produce a clear proof of them? Who then does more wrong than those who fabricate lies against Allah? وَإِذِ اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ يَنشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ وَيُهَيِّئْ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَمْرِكُمْ مِرْفَقًا. Since you have distanced yourself from them and what they worship besides Allah, take refuge in the cave. Your Lord will extend His mercy to you and accommodate you in your ordeal. وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُوا عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَإِذَا غَرَبَتْ تَقْرِضُهُمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَهُمْ في فجوة منه ذلك من آيات الله من يهد الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. And you would have seen the sun as it rose, inclining away from their cave to the right, and as it set, declining away from them to the left, while they lay in its open space. That is one of the signs of Allah. Whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a guiding mentor. وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ وَنُقَلِّبُهُمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَكَلْبُهُمْ بِسَاطٌ ذِرَاعَيْهِ بِالْوَصِيدِ لو اطلعت عليهم لوليت منهم فرارا ولملئت منهم رعبا. And you would have thought they were awake, though they were asleep. We turned them over to the right and left, while their dog stretched his forelegs at the entrance. Had you looked at them, you would have certainly fled away from them, filled with horror. وكذلك بعثناهم وكذلك بعثناهم ليتساءلوا بينهم قال قائل منهم كم لبثتم قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم قالوا ربكم أعلم بما لبثتم فابعثوا أحدكم بورقكم هذه إلى المدينة إلى المدينة إلى المدينة فلينظر أيها أزكى طعاما فليأتكم برزق منه وليتلطف ولا يشعرن بكم أحدا. And so we awakened them so that they might question one another. One of them exclaimed, How long have you remained asleep? Some replied, Perhaps a day or part of a day. They said to one another, Your Lord knows best how long you have remained. So send one of you with these silver coins of yours to the city, and let him find which food is the purest, and then bring your provisions from it. Let him be exceptionally cautious, and do not let him give you away. إنهم إن يظهروا عليكم يرجموكم أو يعيدوكم من ملتهم ولن تفلحوا إذا أبدا. For indeed, if they find out about you, they will stone you to death or force you back into their fate, and then you will never succeed. وكذلك أثرنا عليهم ليعلموا أن وعد الله حق وأن الساعة لا ريب فيها إذ يتنازعون بينهم أمرهم فقالوا ابنوا عليهم بنيانا ربهم أعلم بهم قال الذين غلبوا على أمرهم لنتخذن عليهم مسجدا. That is how we caused them to be discovered, so that their people might know that Allah's promise of resurrection is true, and that there is no doubt about the hour. When the people disputed with each other about the case of the youth after their death, some proposed, build a structure around them. Their Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed in the matter said, We will surely build a place of worship over them. سيقولون ثلاثة رابعهم كلبهم ويقولون خمسة سادسهم كلبهم رجما بالغيب ويقولون سبعة وثامنهم كلبهم قل ربي أعلم بعدتهم ما يعلمهم إلا قليل فلا تمار فيهم إلا مراء ظاهرا ولا تستفضي فيهم منهم أحدا. Some will say, they were 3, their dog was the 4th, while others say, they were 5, their dog was the 6th, only guessing blindly. And others will say, they were 7 and their dog was the 8th. Say, O Prophet, my Lord knows best their exact number. Only a few people know as well. So do not argue about them except with sure knowledge, nor consult any of those who debate about them. ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا. And never say of anything, I will definitely do this tomorrow. إلا أن يشاء الله واذكر ربك إذا نسيت وقل عسى أن يهديني ربي لأقرب من هذا رشدا. Without adding, if Allah so wills. But if you forget, then remember your Lord and say, I trust my Lord will guide me to what is more right than this. وَلَبِثُوا فِي كَهْفِهِمْ 300 سِنِينَ وازدادوا تسعا. They had remained in their cave for 300 years, adding 9. قل الله أعلم بما لبثوا له غيب السماوات والأرض أبصر به وأسمع ما لهم من دونه من ولي ولا يشرك في حكمه أحدا. Say, O Prophet, Allah knows best how long they stayed. With him alone is the knowledge of the unseen of the heavens and the earth. How perfectly he hears and sees. They have no guardian besides him, and he shares his command with none. وَاتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ كِتَابِ رَبِّكَ لَا مُبَدِّلَ لِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَنْ تَجِدَ مِنْ دُونِهِ مُلْتَحَدًا. Recite what has been revealed to you from the book of your Lord. None can change his words, nor can you find any refuge besides him. واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغدوات والعشي يريدون وجهه ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا. And patiently stick with those who call upon their Lord morning and evening, seeking his pleasure. Do not let your eyes look beyond them, desiring the luxuries of this worldly life, and do not obey those whose hearts we have made heedless of our remembrance, who follow only their desires and whose state is total loss. وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ نَارًا أَحَاطَ بِهِمْ سُرَادِقُهَا وَإِنْ يَسْتَغِيثُوا يُغَاثُوا بِمَاءٍ كَالْمُهْلِ يَشْوِي الْوُجُوهَ بِئْسَ الشَّرَابُ وَسَاءَتْ مُرْتَفَقًا. And say, your Prophet, that this is the truth from your Lord. Whoever wills, let them believe, and whoever wills, let them disbelieve. Surely we have prepared for wrongdoers a fire whose walls will completely surround them. When they cry for aid, they will be aided with water like molten metal, which will burn their faces. What a horrible drink, and what a terrible place to rest. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا تضيع أجر من أحسن عملا. As for those who believe in and do good, we certainly never deny the reward of those who are best in deeds. أولئك لهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتهم الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس واستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا. It is they who will have the gardens of eternity, with rivers flowing under their feet. There they will be adorned with bracelets of gold, and wear green garments of the fine silk and rich brocade, reclining there on canopied couches. What a marvelous reward, and what a fabulous place to rest. واضرب لهم مثلا رجلين جعلنا لأحدهما جنتين من أعناب فحففناهما بنخل وجعلنا بينهما زرعا. Give them, O Prophet, an example of 2 men. To the disbelieving one we gave 2 gardens of grapevines, which we surrounded with palm trees and placed various crops in between. كلتا الجنتين آتت كلتا الجنتين آتت أكلها ولم تظلم منه شيئا وفجرنا خلالهما نهرا. Each garden yielded all its produce, never falling short, and we caused a river to flow between them. وكان له ثمر فقال لصاحبه وهو يحاوره أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا. And he had other resources as well, so he boasted to a poor companion of his, while conversing with him, I am greater than you in wealth and superior in manpower. ودخل جنته وهو ظالم لنفسه قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا. And he entered his property while wronging his soul, saying, I do not think this will ever perish. وما أظن الساعة قائمة ولئن رددت إلى ربي لأجدن خيرا منها منقلبا. Nor do I think the hour will ever come, and if in fact I am returned to my Lord, I will definitely get a far better outcome than all this. قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا ثم سواك رجلا ثم سواك رجلا. His believing companion replied, while conversing with him, Do you disbelieve in the one who created you from dust, then developed you from a sperm drop, then formed you into a man? لكن هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. But as for me, He is Allah, my Lord, and I will never associate anyone with my Lord in worship. ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترني أن أقل منك مالا وولدا. If only you had said upon entering your property, This is what Allah has willed. There is no power except with Allah, even though you see me inferior to you in wealth and offspring. فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا. Perhaps my Lord will grant me something better than your garden, and send down upon your garden a thunderbolt from sky, turning it into a barren waste. أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا. Or its water may sink into the earth, and then you will never be able to seek it out. وأحيط بثمره فأصبح يقلب كفيه على ما أنفق فيها وهي خاوية على عروشها ويقول يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا. And so all his produce was totally ruined. So he started to wring his hands for all he had spent on it, while it had collapsed on its trellises. He cried, Alas, I wish I had never associated anyone with my Lord in worship. ولم تكن له فئة ينصرونه من دون الله وما كان منتصرا. And he had no manpower to help him against Allah, nor could he even help himself. هنالك الولايات لله الحق هو خير ثوابا وخير عقبا. At this time, support comes only from Allah, the true Lord. He is best in reward and best in outcome. واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض فأصبح هشيما تذروه رياح وكان الله على كل شيء مقتدرا. And give them a parable of this worldly life. It is like the plants of the earth, thriving when sustained by the rain we send down from the sky. Then they soon turn into chaff scattered by the wind, and Allah is fully capable of doing all things. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا. Wealth and children are the adornment of this worldly life, but the everlasting good deeds are far better with your Lord in reward and in hope. وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالَ وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. Beware of the day we will blow the mountains away, and you will see the earth laid bare, and we will gather all humankind, leaving none behind. وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا. They will be presented before your Lord in rows, and the deniers will be told, you have surely returned to us all alone, as we created you for the first time, although you always claimed that we would never appoint a time for your return. ووزع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا. And the record of deeds will be laid open, and you will see the wicked in fear of what is written in it. They will cry, woe to us! What kind of record is this that does not leave any sin, small or large, unlisted? They will find whatever they did present before them, and your Lord will never wrong anyone. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كان من الجن ففسق عن أمر ربه أفتتخذونه وذريته أولياء من دوني وهم لكم عدو بئس للظالمين بدلا. And remember when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they all did, but not Iblis, who was one of the jinn, but he rebelled against the command of his Lord. Would you then take him and his descendants as patrons instead of me, although they are your enemy? What an evil alternative for the wrongdoers to choose. ما أشهدتهم خلق السماوات والأرض ولا خلق أنفسهم وما كنت متخذ المضلين عضدا. I never called them to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, or even their own creation, nor would I take the misleaders as helpers. وَيَوْمَ يَقُولُ نَادُوا شُرَكَائِيَ الَّذِينَ زَعَمْتُمْ فَدَعَوْهُمْ فَلَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَهُمْ وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ مَوْبِقًا. And beware of the day he will say, call upon those you claimed were my associate gods. So they will call them, but will receive no response, and we will make them all share in the same doom. ورأى المجرمون النار فظنوا أنهم مواقعوها ولم يجدوا عنها مصرفا. The wicked will see the fire and realize that they are bound to fall into it and will find no way to avoid it. وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِلنَّاسِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. We have surely set forth in this Quran every kind of lesson for people, but humankind is the most argumentative of all beings. وَمَا مَنَعَ النَّاسَ أَن يُؤْمِنُوا إِذْ جَاءَهُمُ الْهُدَى وَيَسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّهُمْ إِلَّا أَن تَأْتِيَهُمْ سُنَّةُ الْأَوَّلِينَ أَوْ يَأْتِيَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ قُبُلًا. And nothing prevents people from believing when guidance comes to them, and from seeking their Lord's forgiveness, except their demand to meet the same fate of earlier deniers, or that the torment would confront them face to face. وَمَا نُرْسِلُ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِلَّا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنْذِرِينَ وَيُجَادِلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِالْبَاطِلِ لِيُدْحِضُوا بِهِ الْحَقَّ وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِي وَمَا أُنْذِرُوا هُزُوًا. We do not send the messengers except as deliverers of good news and warners, but the disbelievers argue in falsehood, hoping to discredit the truth with it, and make a mockery of my revelations and warnings. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَاهُ إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً أَنْ يَفْقَهُوهُ وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا وَإِنْ تَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى الْهُدَى فَلَنْ يَهْتَدُوا إِذًا أَبَدًا. And who does more wrong than those who, when reminded of their Lord's revelations, turn away from them and forget what their own hands have done? We have certainly cast veils over their hearts, leaving them unable to comprehend this Quran, and deafness in their ears, and if you, O Prophet, invite them to true guidance, they will never be rightly guided. وَرَبُّكَ الْغَفُورُ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ لَوْ يُؤَاخِذُهُمْ بِمَا كَسَبُوا لَعَجَّلَ لَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ بَلْ لَهُم مَّوْعِدَةٌ لَّن يَجِدُوا مِن دُونِهِ مَوْئِلًا. Your Lord is the all-forgiving, full of mercy. If he were to seize them immediately for what they commit, he would have certainly hastened their punishment. But they have an appointed time, from which they will find no refuge. وَتِلْكَ الْقُرَىٰ أَهْلَكْنَاهُمْ لَمَّا ظَلَمُوا وَجَعَلْنَا لِمَهْلِكِهِمْ مَوْعِدًا. Those are the societies we destroyed when they persisted in wrong, and we had set a time for their destruction. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِفَتَاهُ لَا أَبْرَحُ حَتَّى أَبْلُغَ مَجْمَعَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ أَوْ أَمْضِيَ حُقُبًا. And remember when Moses said to his young assistant, I will never give up until I reach the junction of the two seas, even if I travel for ages. فَلَمَّا بَلَغَا مَجْمَعَ بَيْنِهِمَا نَسِيَا حُوتَهُمَا فَاتَّخَذَا سَبِيلَهُ فِي الْبَحْرِ سَرَبًا. But when they finally reached the point where the seas met, they forgot their salted fish, and it made its way into the sea, slipping away wondrously. فَلَمَّا جَاوَزَ قَالَ لِفَتَاهُ آتِنَا غَدَاءَنَا لَقَدْ لَقِينَا مِنْ سَفَرِنَا هَٰذَا نَصَبًا. When they had passed further, he said to his assistant, Bring us our meal. We have certainly been exhausted by today's journey. قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أن أذكر أن أذكره واتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا. He replied, Do you remember when we rested by the rock? That is when I forgot the fish. None made me forget to mention this except Satan, and the fish made its way into the sea miraculously. قال ذلك ما كنا نبغي فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا. Moses responded, That is exactly what we were looking for. So they returned, retracing their footsteps. فوجد عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما. There they found a servant of ours, to whom we had granted mercy from us and enlightened with knowledge of our own. قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. Moses said to him, May I follow you, provided that you teach me some of the right guidance you have been taught. قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, You certainly cannot be patient enough with me. وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا. And how can you be patient with what is beyond your realm of knowledge? قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أحصي لك أمرا. Moses assured him, You will find me patient, Allah willing, and I will not disobey any of your orders. قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا. He responded, Then if you follow me, do not question me about anything until I myself clarify it for you. فانطلق حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها. فانطلق حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها. قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا. So they set out, but after they had boarded a ship, the men made a hole in it. Moses protested, Have you done this to drown its people? You have certainly done a terrible thing. قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He replied, Did I not say that you cannot have patience with me? قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا. Moses pleaded, Excuse me for forgetting, and do not be hard on me. فانطلق حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا. So they proceeded until they came across a boy, and the man killed him. Moses protested, Have you killed an innocent soul who killed no one? You have certainly done a horrible thing. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He answered, Did I not tell you that you cannot have patience with me? قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصا- تصاحبني تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. Moses replied, If I ever question you about anything after this, then do not keep me in your company, for by then I would have given you enough of an excuse. فانطلق حتى إذا آتيها فانطلق حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية أستطع أستطعما أهلها فأبوا أن أن يضاي أن يضيفوهما فوجدا فيها جدارا يريد أن ينقض فأقامه. قال قال لو شئت قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا. So they moved on until they came to the people of a town. They asked them for food, but the people refused to give them hospitality. There they found the wall ready to collapse, so the man set it right. Moses protested, If you wanted, you could have demanded a fee for this. قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتاويل ما لم تستطيع عليه صبرا. He replied, This is the parting of our ways. I will explain to you what you could not bear patiently. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا. As for the ship, it belonged to some poor people working at sea, so I intended to damage it, for there was a tyrant king ahead of them who seizes every good ship by force. وأما الغلام فكان أبواه مؤمنين فخشينا أن يرهقهما طغيانا وكفرا. As for the boy, his parents were true believers, and we feared that he would pressure them into defiance and disbelief. فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحما. So we hoped that their Lord would give them another, more virtuous and caring in his place. وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما رحمة من ربك وما فعلته عن أمري ذلك تأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا. And as for the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the city, and under the wall was a treasure that belonged to them, and their father had been a righteous man. So your Lord willed that these children should come of age and retrieve their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. I did not do it at all on my own. This is the explanation of what you could not bear patiently. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ سَأَتْلُو عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. They ask you, O Prophet, about Zulkarnain. Say, I will relate to you something of his narrative. إن مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا. Surely we established him in the land and gave him the means to all things. فأتبع سببا. So he traveled a course. حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حمئة ووجد عندها قوما قلنا يا ذا القرنين إما أن تعذب وإما أن تتخذ فيهم حسنا. Until he reached the setting point of the sun, which appeared to him to be setting in a spring of murky water, where he found some people. We said, O Zulkarnain, either punish them or treat them kindly. قال أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا. He responded, Whoever does wrong will be punished by us, then will be returned to their Lord, who will punish them with a horrible torment. وأما من آمن وعمل صالحا فله جزاءنا الحسنى وسنقول له من أمرنا يسرا. As for those who believe and do good, they will have the finest reward, and we will assign them easy commands. ثم أتبع سببا. Then he traveled a different course. حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترا. Until he reached the rising point of the sun, he found it rising on a people for whom we had provided no shelter from it. كذلك وقد أحطنا بما لديه خبرا. So it was, and we truly had full knowledge of him. ثم أتبع سببا. Then he traveled a third course. حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين وجد من دونها قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. Until he reached a pass between two mountains, he found in front of them a people who could hardly understand his language. قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. They pleaded, O Zulkarnain, surely Gog and Magog are spreading corruption throughout the land. Should we pay you tribute, provided that you build a wall between us and them? قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير فأعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما. He responded, What my Lord has provided for me is far better. But assist me with resources, and I will build a barrier between you and them. أتوني زبر الحديد حتى إذا سوى بين الصدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا قال أتوني أفرغ عليه قطرا. Bring me blocks of iron. Then, when he had filled up the gap between the two mountains, he ordered, Blow. When the iron became red hot, he said, Bring me molten copper to pour over it. فما استطاعوا أن يظهروه وما استطاعوا له نقبا. And so the enemies could neither scale nor tunnel through it. قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا وكان وعد ربي حقا. He declared, This is a mercy from my Lord, but when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will level it to the ground, and my Lord's promise is ever true. وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهما فجمع فجمعناهم جمعا. On that day, we will let them surge like waves over one another. Later, the trumpet will be blown, and we will gather all people together. وعرصنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا. On that day, we will display hell clearly for the disbelievers. الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا. Those who turned a blind eye to my reminder and could not stand listening to it. أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. Do the disbelievers think that they can simply take my servants as lords instead of me? We have surely prepared a hell as an accommodation for the disbelievers. قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا. Say, O Prophet, shall we inform you of who will be the biggest losers of deeds? الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. They are those whose efforts are in vain in this worldly life, while they think they are doing good. أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. It is they who reject the signs of their Lord and their meeting with Him, rendering their deeds void, so we will not give their deeds any weight on Judgment Day. ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا. That is their reward, hell, for their disbelief and mockery of my signs and messengers. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا. Indeed, those who believe and do good will have the gardens of paradise as an accommodation. خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. Where they will forever never desire anywhere else. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. Say, your Prophet, if the ocean were ink for writing the words of my Lord, it would certainly run out before the words of my Lord were finished, even if we refilled it with its equal. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. Say, your Prophet, I am only a man like you, but it has been revealed to me that your God is only one God. So whoever hopes for the meeting with their Lord, let them do good deeds and associate none in the worship of their Lord. Sadaqallahul Azim. Here ends Surah Al-Kahf, the 18th chapter of the Noble Quran. I read from the first verse to the 110th verse. I read the complete chapter. May Allah forgive me for any mistakes that I've made. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahima wa ala ali Ibrahima innaka hamidun majid. Assalamu alaikum.